Are you one of those people who like crafting your own ideas? In other words, are you one of those people who are enticed by the very fact of coding but don't know where to start? Well, I think you're at the right place because the first step is all that matters, all that makes a difference, also. Welcome to Code Decode. This workshop aims to schematically decode all the complex steps of coding and tells you about how to start with it. Just as a musician keeps all his tactics under wraps, an ideal coder also does the same. This workshop would help you decode the secrets that most of the good coders harbor. All of you are free to ask your doubts about coding or applying to clubs or building your own technical resume. This workshop can be your introduction to hackathons and open source projects. By having an in depth knowledge of what they are and how they function, I'm sure you guys can ace it. Code Decode can be the start of your new journey for many. And in case you think you've already started your journey, then this workshop is also for you to know how far you are. Now, I would like to welcome our speaker and your mentor for today's workshop, Mr. Shashank Mishra. SRMKZILLA welcomes you to Code Decode. Over to you, Aditi.
Today, we have with us Mr. Shashank Mishra, the man who leads by example, a data engineer at Amazon and filling YouTube with his insightful knowledge. He started his YouTube channel 6 months back and today has a whopping 6.4K followers. His channel, E-Learning Brit, is a one-stop platform for mentorship and plethora of hacks related to interviews and coding. He pursued his master's from Motilal Nehru University and holds experience of working with organizations like Paytm, McKinsey, and is currently working in Amazon, skilled in big data and data visualization. Today, Mr. Shashank is here with us to guide and encourage the young mind. And I believe after today's session, you will get through all your doubts, questions, and this session is going to help you kickstart your journey with coding, even if you don't have any prior knowledge on it. This event wouldn't have been possible without our sponsors. Coding Blocks. Code your way up with an area of language by choosing the best. Coding Blocks offers promising courses in various programming languages and high-end development. And Code Asylums offers amazing boot camps which will help you gain unrivaled skills and crystal clear concepts, consolidated packages to give mentored and collaborative environment to crack the companies you look forward to. So, without any further ado, let's start with the session. Handing over to you, Mr. Shashank.
Hey, thank you, team. Thank you so much for inviting me. And like before starting the session, I would like to thank all entire SRMKZILLA team and SRM for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to interact all the young minds there. And in coming minutes, I'll try my level best to share all and whatever I have faced starting from my college time and in the IT industry. So I'll try my level best to guide you through. And if you guys have any doubt, feel free to post it. And at the end of the session, I'll definitely answer those questions. So, like without wasting time, I would definitely jump on to the presentation part, which I have created for you guys. So let me start with it. Can you guys see it? Amazon. And previously, I worked with like world's number one consulting firm, McKinsey and Company, and like India's one of the best fintech startup that is Paytm, and did my masters from NIT Allahabad. And along with that, in this COVID time, this gave me an opportunity to start my YouTube channel, E-Learning Bridge, where basically I used to call people from different backgrounds and different colleges who cracked their tech giants, and they used to share their interview experiences, their learning roadmap, their strategies, tips, tricks, and hacks, so that it could help the upcoming generation of developers. So, yep, that was pretty much all about me. Now I'll quickly jump on to the main part. So, as we all know, guys, like the day you start or the day you enter into the colleges, right? So, the very first thing in our mind is basically the placements, and everyone is basically want to get a very good job and good product based companies, good tech giants. But also the thing we know that when we'll be entering into the college, you will definitely hear these buzzwords like competitive programming, DSAs, and uh, basically projects, system designing, and so many things, right? So you will definitely keep on hearing these terms. But here the point is, I mean, what is this competitive programming and why people are so much talking about it, why it has become the, I would say, like the necessities to get a good job in the tech giants or in a good product based companies or in a good startup. So in the like coming slides, I will definitely guide you through it, like why it is needed, and from your college days, starting from your college life, what all the things you can do to be into the competitive programming, what all resources you can follow, and many more things. So definitely I will these, that's why I called it like a baby steps for the competitive programming. So I mean, because like without following these stuff, definitely you will face lots of challenges, like if you are directly jumping on to the competitive programming without covering these things. So let me start with the very first thing, and the you can say building block or the foundation of uh, like our engineering life, like in the computer science field, that the programming. So first thing, at least before jumping into this competitive programming world, you have to be very good. Your strong fundamental of programming language. It could be C, C++, Java, Python. It could be anything. And why it is, I mean, important. So because programming is something which obviously like there will be problem use cases, and to solve them, obviously you need to code it, and for that you have to be very good in any of the programming languages, right? If you, let's say, you started with C, right, and you read its fundamental, and then you quickly jump onto the C++, and you heard from your friends that I'm doing coding on Java, you quickly move on to Java. So this is not the very good practice, I would say. Let's say if you started with C, or even if you started with the C++, then it would be my advice, then you should have a good expertise in any of the one language, so that I mean, it is not only for the competitive programming, it is, I mean, for your career part too as well. Like you have to be very good with any of the programming language. So it's the very first baby step when you enter into the college. Pick any language of your interest, and most of the time in the college people start with C, C++. So definitely start with it, and once you have a good command on it, like it's different important building blocks like functions, syntax, looping conditions, and the file handling systems, and if there is any libraries, useful libraries, which can basically make your life easy while solving the competitive programming questions, where because there will be some limited time and you need to solve the question very quickly. So there comes the libraries into the picture. It makes our life easy to solve the questions very quickly. So that's what you have to be very good with the fundamentals of programming language. Next comes the strong basics of DSA. So this is the major part where most of the people makes major mistakes. So even I did these kind of mistakes. So even what happened with me, like when I started with my college life. Obviously, I started with the programming. I was learning it, and then what happens? Like as soon as I started with this data structures and algo part, and meanwhile I was also listening from people about the competitive programming and all. So there were like two-way kind of situation for me. I mean, that I had to think about the competitive programming as well, like how I will probably do it. And even I was a very noob on data structures and algorithms. So that was the major mistake people used to do. Let's say they read about the arrays, they read about the strings, or very normal basics of linked list. And what happens, because of the like our like surrounding environment, we used to get influenced by people. And that's why, like, without covering the things or without reading the things properly, we jump onto the different step or the next step, like the computer programming, and start solving challenges. And what happens there, when you will not be able to solve the question, definitely you will get demotivated, and probably you will skip the things, and you will or probably you won't jump onto the competitive programming the next time. So that's why, guys, strong basics of data structures and algorithms plays a very important role. First, dedicate a very good amount of time. Take a 2 month of time, 3 month of time, 4 month of time to do a good hands-on on the existing data structures and algorithms. Like, you should read thoroughly about the arrays, strings, linked list, data structure, linked list trees, graphs, and important algorithms like searching, sorting, greedy algorithms, dynamic programming. So these are the common things you should actually know: when to use, why to use, and how to use. Let's say if somebody knows about the heap data structure as well, somebody knows about the tree data structure as well, somebody knows about the graph data structure as well, one question that, hey, can you solve this question, and puts your problem use case in front of you. You know about these data structures, but you do not know how to use it, when to use it, then definitely it's a negative point, right? And that's why I'm not saying it is not only for your competitive programming. This will help you in the longer run. Even if you are very good or with your basics and fundamentals of data structures and algorithms, then I can bet you, if somebody asks you a question, I'm not saying you won't be able to write a production ready code in a single shot, but definitely you will be able to come up with good approaches that, yep, this data structure I can solve this problem in that way. This is the data structure, I will solve this problem using these algorithms in that way. So that's why basics of DSA becomes very important before jumping into the competitive programming world. And that's the major point where people lack, means so much. They, like, after solving few questions of arrays, they quickly jump onto the computer programming. And this shouldn't be, I do not treat it a very good practice, because I have seen its consequences. In my college time, I started with it, I did the same, I was demotivated, I didn't even touch the competitive programming after some for some time. But when I got to know, like, where should I work upon, then I first thoroughly read all the basics of the data structures and algorithms. And the third one is basically understanding the constraints. So this is also a very major step. Like, you can treat it like a hint. Like, when you will be solving competitive programming questions, even sometimes the problem statement or the constraints will guide you towards the solution. So that's why understanding the constraints become very important. And even it will help you in the interviews. I'll cover it later, like how it will help you in the interviews. But let me give you an example, like how constraints can basically help you to think about a solution. So let's say there is a question, and there probably the length of, or the size, or you can say the value of integer could be like 10 to the power 9 or 10 to the power 18. Then what will come into your mind, that the value of integer is very like long or very big. Then definitely, let's say if I I'm going to choose any square kind of algorithm, then definitely you will get time limit exceeds and your solution won't execute within the time, right? So obviously you look at the constraint that the value is something like 10 to the power 9, 10 to the power 18, that means definitely you need to think for like n log n kind of approach, logarithmic kind of approach, right? So that it executes in a very quick time. And let's say there is a question where like you have a size of 10 to the power 3 or 10 to the power 6 only, then probably you can like think of, obviously there could be multiple approaches, but definitely by looking at the constraint you can think, yet even if I choose the n square approach, this solution is going to work, and probably even it can run in the given time as well, right? So that's why constraints become very important to understand. So please, whenever you will be starting with the questions, solving different questions, thoroughly understand the constraints, read the problem statement carefully, and then look at the constraints, and definitely you will get the hint that which approach or you will be choosing to solve the question. And next, and the very important thing, I know it's not a baby step for that, but I consider it, do not compare yourself. And guys, this is the thing I have seen people like getting demotivated because of thing this, because batch, or let's say in your college there will be like pro coders, like it could be like the time could be like that, you might have just started with the coding and those guys are probably like 5 star 6 star coders, right? Pro coders. So that's what I'm saying, please do not compare yourself while starting anything or while doing anything. So what happens, uh, so the comparison, like it doesn't make any sense, like it has no value, like comparing yourself, I mean, is like just you are just killing yourself, that because everybody has its capabilities, right? I have like I know my capabilities and I'll work accordingly. Obviously like put extra burden on ourselves is not a very good idea. So that's why I'm saying, do not compare yourself. If somebody is around you who is very good in something, then learn from them, sit with them together and ask their strategies, their roadmap, so that you could follow. But if you are thinking why you are not up to that level and you are keep on comparing yourself again and again, that means definitely it will disturb your mind, and you shouldn't do that, because like everyone should do their stuff based on their capabilities. So it could be like you will learn or you will be good in competitive programming after 4 6 or 8 months, and there could be a guy who is like a very sharp minded and in the good competitive programming in the very first month. So please do not compare yourself, take your time, follow these baby steps. First feel confident, first cover the all the strong fundamentals and basics, and then jump onto the major part. So, I was also talking about the few like resources. So this is the book. I mean, two things. I mean, major you, because the programming is something everybody has its different taste. Let's, and like there are many good writers. And if I'll pick one or two, that would be a pretty unfair. So that's what I'm saying. Every for the programming at least, I mean, there are very good writers you can refer according to your taste, according to your understanding, you can do that. And but for these two, at least the data structure and the algorithm part, definitely I would like to mention these two books, because I have followed these two books. And first one is like Data Structures by Lipsus. You can follow this book to like gain good expertise in data structures. And next comes the Introduction to Algorithms by Corman. This one is like a Bible of algorithm. Obviously, they have covered everything for all the top-notch algorithms, and sometimes you will find the solution bit difficult, or the equations or the derivation bit difficult. But trust me, guys, when you will read them very carefully and thoroughly, it will look very simple to you. So these two books I referred for the like strengthen my skills for the data structures and algorithms. Next one, I will talk about some learning resources for you and the good coding platforms. And I am pretty sure like you guys are very smart. You guys like might have heard about these terms, and if somebody not, then definitely I will talk about it. And there are enormous kind of thing available on the internet nowadays. I mean, I was like very unfortunate in that sense, because when I started in my college life, there was not so much, or you can say there wasn't very relevant or good content available over the internet. Things were just starting, and we were following in that fashion. But now scenario have been changed. There are very good and platforms which are coming up with good ideas and trying to give best of the best material to the candidates. So for the question bank kind of things, I mean, the first, after covering the baby steps, if you are good and feeling comfortable with the data structure basics and programming basics, now you want to solve the variety of questions. Let's say for arrays, you want to solve 100, 200, 500 of questions which are even being asked by the companies, different companies. So definitely refer the Geeks for Geeks, and this is a platform which needs no introduction. I'm assuming like at least 90% audience who is watching this session probably know about this Geeks for Geeks. Even the working professional do follow it to prepare their interviews or to brush up their skills. So there are questions topic wise, there are questions for your CS core subjects, and there are questions according to the company wise. So there is a very good section, must do coding questions. There you will find the questions and from the company wise, topic wise, and you can refer that and like practice those questions. Those questions will definitely like you will face those questions in the interviews somewhere. But before that, it will help you to enhance your problem solving skills, because learning things is a different part, and do lots of practice is a different thing. So that's here Geeks for Geeks help you. And like if you they have all there are also some good paid courses which are basically designed by the people who are working in tech giants, who have cracked their gates for the MTech, and they have prepared those courses, and where they are very cheap. Even if you use the coupon code e-learning B, then definitely you will get a very good fancy discount. You can use that. And then interview bit is there. This is also one of the like very good platform. There you can solve different questions, and now lead code. This is the like very popular nowadays. They are providing questions company wise. They are running daily challenges, weekly challenges, monthly challenges, where you can take part and work on different problems, use cases, and solve or enhance your problem solving skills. Now I will talk about the competitive coding platforms. So my personal favorite was HackerRank, guys. But that doesn't mean that it should be your favorite one as well. First, explore all the platforms, because like every coding online coding platform has its like uh, you can say its own taste, or set of questions, or the level of difficulty level of questions. So HackerRank was a very easy for me to use. I loved its UI, I loved its questions, and there are short challenges, there are some long challenges on HackerRank. They even you can solve the challenges or practice the things for your core subjects, not even for the programming, competitive programming, for the core subjects like operating system and object oriented programming, networking, SQL, DBMS, something like that. And then CodeChef is there. CodeChef and Code Forces are obviously like really popular, guys. And they're like obviously have the short challenges and long challenges. You should take part in it, guys. Obviously probably when you will start with competitive programming, sometimes what will happen, you will take part in challenges, but probably you won't be able to solve even a one question. That will happen, that happened to me as well. But it doesn't mean that that you shouldn't take part in it. Definitely you should, because these kind of environment or these kind of atmosphere or question you will get in the online tests of your placements. There will be like a 2 hour of window or 1 hour of window here, you need to solve 2 3 questions, and those questions will be like that, that are being asked in the competitive coding, like the platform on code chef and code forces. So please take participation in it, it will definitely enhance your skills, and the achievements you will get from here, like the solving good competitive challenges, it will improve your profile. And how it will do it, I will definitely cover in the next slides, where I'll talk about the impactful resume. So I'll definitely explain that part. So Spoj is there, Hacker Earth is there. So these are the some very very popular competitive coding platform, guys. And if you are someone who is looking for short note and basics kind of thing, then definitely you can refer Java T Point, Tutorials Point, W3 School. So they have covered basic things for different, like even for the programming languages, for the data structures, algorithms, and your core fundamental subjects. And if somebody is looking for some good courses, let's say somebody want to learn backend development, web development, data science, AI, ML, and looking forward for good courses, then definitely free material is also available on the internet. You can watch that. There are good YouTube channels, even created by these online course providers as well. They are putting their courses on YouTube as well, free of cost. But still you want a good mentorship, and you want to learn things under some good mentors, highly skilled mentors, then you can probably take some courses, and the popular ones like Edureka, Simply Learn, Udemy, Coursera, Upgrad, IntelliPack. So next I will move on to the major part, and that is like PSP to crack tech giants. So tech giants obviously means we are talking about FANG, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Microsoft, and many more. Like there is not one tech giant now. There are lots of good companies, like they are competing with each other, and working on some good problem use cases, and where on very very large scale of user and system. So this is the terminology, guys, I have created. PSP to crack tech giants means these three things will cover everything for you. Like if you are targeting these companies, then first thing is like your problem solving and DSA. And why so? Obviously, because when you will be the part of IT industry, and you will be working on some problem use cases, you will be working on use cases which are solving the social some causes, let's say online delivery, like movie streaming. Some obviously they are somehow capturing the social causes. So to create those kind of systems, to create those kind of products, obviously they are made of with some small components, and to make those components functional and work together, you need to code these things. You need to have a very very good understanding of problem solving, that somebody given you a problem use case, then what efficient data structures, efficient algorithm you will be using. And language, I mean, I would say it's just a medium. I mean, your logical foundation should be very, very good, like how you are thinking and how are you are proceeding for the problem, right? That's the major logical foundation is very, very important. And if you are strong with that, then definitely even you can work with C, C++, Java, Python. Like it won't even take much time to switch on different languages. But obviously it depends on the taste, and it depends upon the market standard, which like one is being used very oftenly and solving the most number of the cases. And that's how you can opt it. But the DSA plays a very very important role, guys, here. then you cannot even ignore it if you are targeting good tech giants, because there will be the screening round. There will be questions from DSA, even from for the first technical round, second, or even could be like there are companies which probably even ask the DSAs in all the rounds, right? So that's why it's very important, guys. Next, basically, the system designing. And for this, guys, I would say, like, when I was giving interviews for my campus placements, this thing was, I mean, not a part of interview processes at that time, but nowadays this has become very important for the interview process. And there, in the system designing, basically is nothing. It is basically your designing skills, right? So let's take in just a small example. Let's say Amazon e-commerce, or what it is. It is a e-commerce platform. So definitely, when developers would have started working on this idea that we need to create something like a e-commerce platform, so they would have definitely gone through with the baby steps, and the baby step is designing the thing, like how the entire architecture will look like, how the entire platform will look like, what all components do we need, what is for the front end, what is for the back end, what is for the middleware, what is for the caching, what is for the security. So this is very important. And why? Because companies are not only looking for the pro coders, obviously. Like, if they are hiring engineers, they a good understanding of programming, problem solving. But at the end, in the industry, you will be working on some products, and for every product there would be a good design, right? And it's not a simple program, it's not a simple C program which is running at the back end and doing everything for you. There are multiple things involved to create a single or a quality product. So here the system designing comes into the picture, because in the industry you will be working on those products. So the interviewers will definitely expect from you that, oh, this guy know about the backend databases, this guy know about how API calling work, how front end and back end work together, how socket connection creates, and how like the protocols work, and how you will handle the large scale of user requests, how you will scale your system, right? Because most of the things nowadays, the products are basically user centric, and they on at like any particular given point of time scale, the user request may increase from thousand to millions. So your system should be very optimized and scalable enough to handle that amount of request. And that's why your designing skills are very important. It becomes very important. And nowadays, definitely in the interview processes of at least the good product based companies and tech giants, there will be the dedicated rounds for system designing there, where they will ask popular or any designing question, and they will test like how you are designing the things. They won't ask you to code anything there, that can you code this thing and all. No, they will ask you to draw the entire architecture, how you will basically create the Amazon e-commerce, how you will basically create a parking lot system, right? So these kind of questions, and that becomes very important nowadays. And next come on to the projects. So this is also plays a very important role, guys. And that's what I said, companies are not only looking for the pro coders, they are looking for the good engineers. And how you become a good engineer, that's not only by solving the coding questions or doing the competitive programming. Your development skills are very much important for any organizations. And how you learn these development skills by doing good projects. So this is also plays a very important role when, at least when you are applying for the off campus opportunities. This becomes very important, like the kind of projects you have done, the the kind of skill sets and the kind of development tools you have used, that will basically give you a weightage to get shortlisted for the interviews. And what happens, like most of the time I have seen people are in the college time, from the college time, they are only focusing on the problem solving, data structures and algorithm. They do not even care about the internal projects. They used to copy paste it from somewhere, they used to take it from their senior and present it to their faculty just to pass the exams. And this shouldn't be idea, guys. Like now the things have been changed completely, in the interviews, or even for the like self development or to be a good engineer. Like problem solving is important, but you have to give the equal weightage to the projects as well, to the development skills as well. And for the projects, I definitely say, when you will be in your first year and second year, then you will probably start thinking about some projects. And obviously nowadays there are like n number of domains in the market. And again, you will probably get influenced by your mates, your teammates or batchmates or your seniors, that this domain is very popular, you should definitely create project around that. It shouldn't be like that, guys. First, what you should do, you should dedicate a good amount of time, okay, let's say 1 month, 2 month, to explore the things, right? Like world is not only, like you might have heard this term, data science, AI, ML, and data analysis, machine learning, these kind of thing, right? So world is not only about these things. Though whatever domains are existing in the IT market, every domain has its own relevance and it's solving the different use case in the market, right? And that's why it becomes very very important. Do not kill your interest, do not kill your thoughts just by getting influence from someone else. You should dedicate good amount of time to explore the things. You should see your interest. You can explore Android, you can explore iOS development, you can explore backend development, front end, data science, AI, ML, and then try to figure out which looks more fascinating to you, and which is basically according to your skill set, which is according to your capabilities, right? So first you have to make that decision. Do not get influenced by others. From learning perspective it is fine, but just as a career option you are listening to somebody else, it shouldn't be like that. Dedicate a good amount of time and find your interest, then start creating projects around that. And definitely in the next slides, when I'll talk about the resume making thing, I will definitely cover few important points from this project thing in the coming slides, which will even help you to make your job application stand out from the crowd. Next, this is the very important thing, guys. That's why I highlighted it like that way. Like, do not ignore, please. So why and what happens? Because I mean, even I have done that, and there will be people means who are listening this talk. Like you might have spent your 2 years on the DSA and algorithm part only, right? And probably you guys are ignoring these things. I know these are the part of curriculum, but obviously they have some relevance. That's why I've said, written that do not ignore. Because what will happen, the even the placement time, or even I was talking about the products, right? So that's what product is not the like a single programming application, right? The products which you will be working on in the IT industry, they are not a simple C program or C++ program. They are more than that, right? There will be things involved in it. It would be a good architecture. And to create that product, these are the building blocks, like the object oriented programming concepts and the networking and operating system databases, right? So these are the building blocks or the foundation of your development skills. Do not treat it as a like a subject or curriculum thing to pass your exams. They are important to become a good engineer, right? So, and even in the placement times, when you will be sitting in your placements and like you will be solving the online coding test or the online written round. So there, some questions will be from the coding side, code programming part, and there will be MCQ kind of questions from these major topics like operating system, networking, database, and oops, right? So that's what I mean. Even if you solve both the coding questions and you do not answer any of the MCQ question which are being asked from these topics, then definitely your written round won't be clear, right? Every like both of the things the equal weighted. And now if I talk about the major interview part, in the technical interview, face to face interview rounds, there could be one coding round, two coding round, three coding round. But what after that? Definitely there will be one or two dedicated round where those guys will be asking questions for these core CS subjects like OOPS, networking, databases, and operating systems. That's why it becomes very important. And read it thoroughly, guys. Along with your DSA part, give a good amount of time to focus on networking and databases, because there will be questions in the interviews, in the online test, and when you will be creating the projects, obviously you will be using some databases. When you will create front end and back end, you will be using some networking protocols to communicate or to make the request. And you when you will be running your system, then you should definitely know what resources, what amount of memory, these sort of stuff your machine is taking. Here comes the operating system into the picture. So that's why it's very important, guys. So please do not ignore it. So here, yep, I'll take a short break.
We'll be having a quick quiz now. Our speaker, Mr. Shashank Mishra, will be asking you all a set of questions. Please give your answers in the comment section below. The first person to give the correct answer will receive exciting prizes from our sponsors. So crack your knuckles and put on your thinking caps because we have a ton of exciting goodies to give away. Over to you, sir.
Okay, guys. Yep. So here is the like it's not a like a programming based or like a core fundamental based questions. Very like tech kind of questions. I'm just wanna check how tech enthusiast you are. So here your first question, guys. So who is the creator of Python language? And this was the very hot topic now, like in past days on the LinkedIn. So if you some of you are active on LinkedIn, then probably you would have know about the creator of Python language. So just quickly answer your. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Yep. So I am pretty sure this is like you guys know about it. Like what is the name of parent company of Google? Make it faster and grab those exciting goodies and coupons, guys. Here comes the third one for you. So this is bit technical. I would again the baby step kind of thing. So if somebody has started with the programming or learning these languages, so first step of program execution written in C language. When you write a program in C language, then and you start executing it, then what is the very first step? Let's move on to the fourth one. I hope you guys are doing it very quickly. So again, the most amazing professional platform of nowadays, that is like parent company of LinkedIn. Okay, let's move on to the fifth one. So all the object oriented programming lovers or the guys who love C++ programming, STL stands for. There you go for the sixth one. This could be bit tough, I'm not sure, but if you guys are focusing on your core CS fundamentals, then definitely some of you might have answered it. Cassandra is transactional database or not? Like true or false? All right. There you go for the last one, and IoT stands for. All right, so I'm pretty sure you guys have answered all these questions quickly, and I hope you like who have answered these questions quickly, they will receive their goodies and coupons. So that was all about the quiz part, and I hope you guys have enjoyed these like seven quiz questions, and we will start shortly for the next important slides where I'll talk about the hackathons, open source contribution, resume building, and these kind of things. Okay, guys, so let's move with the interesting part of the slides. So there you go, guys. The important part, like interview rounds, mistakes, and how to prepare and the best practices, right? So avoid this part. I'm not sure, like because of some internet issue, the image is not popping up here. Ignore it. So yeah, so I'll basically guide you through the like interview process, and some of you there might be are planning to like grab the internships, and some of you might be planning for the full-time offers. Then like what are the general process of interviews, and what kind of mistakes we used to do in these interview rounds, and the best practices you should follow. So the very first, obviously, there will be online test. If we talk about the internship, or if we talk about the full-time opportunities, there will be one online test. So most of the time, these online test is a combination of both the things, the coding part and your core CS fundamentals. So there will be MCQ questions around that, and few like probably two or three coding questions, right? And it depends upon the company and the level, like what will be the level, it depends upon the company. But again, be focused on your the baby steps, or the, like you say, it's as I said, the important part, the foundation and the basics of your data structures and algorithm. Even if there will be a new question or something which is bit tricky, but if you are strong with your fundamentals, then definitely you'll probably able to come up with a solution. And the mistakes we used to do is definitely, first thing is pressure and the stress, definitely. And this happened to me, guys, like in my placement time. I mean, I was just lost 2 3 opportunities because of this pressure or mental stress kind of thing. Because, and the bad point was that I was knowing the answer, I was knowing the algorithm, but somehow my mind was so choked at that time that I was not even able to write a single line of code. And that you can imagine, like how this mental pressure or the stress can destroy your opportunities. So feel free, like just feel fresh, and whenever you enter into the exam room, just be relaxed, right? And take a deep breath, start with your questions, and do not make it hurry, right? So that's the like secret sauce, I mean, to crack the online test. Because you have studied, you have spent 3 4 years of your college time to study the things, you are good in the core fundamentals, programming, DSAs and all. Now it's the opportunity to execute the things in a proper way. And for that, the key point is basically your confidence, your positivity, and you need to feel fresh most of the time. Otherwise, definitely, like me, you guys will lost those opportunities. So please be careful for that, guys. And next means the technical round in face-to-face rounds. Obviously, in this COVID time, most of the things are going on virtual. And but do not treat virtual interviews or take it very lightly, that you are free to do anything. I hope you guys understand. I'm talking about the cheatings and all. Please do not do that, ignore it while giving any online test, or it is an offline test. Please don't do that. Right, it will basically decrease your chances, and obviously it's not ethical. And in the technical round, guys, definitely, like there will be questions from the core fundamental subjects, your programming, DSS and all. Now I will, the major part I want to cover in this technical round section is that the mistakes, because this is the important part. So sometimes what happens when we enter into the like interview room, and when we sit in front of the interviewer, and let's say when he or she start talking, or when he or she start explaining any problem use case, then most of the time what happens, because of the anxiety, or you can say, let's say she started asking a question about any heap data structure, something like that. And let's say she is narrating its problem statement, and you heard few keywords like heap and all, and you are really excited that, hey, I have read about the heap, and I have know, I know about this answer and all. So because of that excitement, what happens, you sometimes forgot to hear the complete statement. And that's the bad part, because let's say she asked or he asked a different problem use case, which is using heap and all, and you are answering something else because you haven't heard the problem statement completely. So it becomes very important when you sit in front of the interviewer. First, let him speak, let him finish, take a pause, then start thinking and narrating your answer. Do not like interrupt it in between. Let him finish first, and then start with your questions. Like, even if you have any doubt, or even if you do not understand the problem statement exactly, you can even ask him to repeat the problem statement, and he will definitely do that. That's not the problem. So that is the very first problem. And second is, guys, again, the thing I was mentioning, that the mental stress and pressure. Because some of you will be there who are facing the interview rounds the very first time. Your hands will be sweating and you will feel very nervous. Even if you know the things, you will be fumbling a lot while answering the questions, right? It will happen. And why it is happening? Because you are stressed, you are feeling pressurized. And sometimes the bad part is when you feel pressurized, what happens, your thinking and listening capability gets reduced. And in the interview rounds, it is very important, like you need to listen and you need to think. So keep your ears open and keep your mind open. So, and for that you have to feel fresh, you have to feel confident, and treat these technical interview rounds a normal tech kind of discussion, that you know something, you have studied, there is somebody who is in front of you, he'll ask some question and judge you on that. That's it. And the second problem is that the pin drop silence in the interview room. So what happens, let's say interviewer asks you to solve he'll ask you one question, that this is the array, these are the variables, these are the questions, and like how you will solve it, right? And what will happen, you will quickly grab the pen and paper and you will start the things, right? You will start writing down your approach, and for the next 10-15 minutes there is a complete silence in the room. So this is also the very bad part, because let's say your solution is of one page, and after 15 minutes you are submitting it to the interviewer, and obviously uh, like it doesn't make sense to go, like for the interview to go through the entire one page solution and figure out what exactly you have used to solve this problem use case, right? So this is the very important point, like think out loud, even what are you thinking and what are you trying to write down on your paper, keep narrating it, and it will give you some advantages as well. So first advantage will be like the hints. I mean, the interviewers who is sitting next to you is the guy, I mean, who do not wish to reject anybody. Even I have taken so many interviews and I didn't ever think that I will probably reject somebody. But and to do that, we definitely try to help the candidates. And the way we basically help them is to give them indirect hints. Obviously there won't be any direct hints that hey, can you use this algorithm. No, there won't be any direct hint for that. Definitely there will be indirect hints, but those hints you can get if you are narrating your approach. If I'm not if I'm not aware with the solution or the kind of approach you are taking, then definitely I'll probably not be able to give you any hint. And if you are narrating your things and at any particular point of time I think you are on a wrong track, then probably I'll try to give you some indirect hint. And this is again the very important point. And please be focused on that. These are the two very major mistake we used to do in the technical interviews. And also the third thing I would like to say is that means do not go round and round. I mean, if you do not know any answer, or if you haven't heard any terminology or any topic, then you can definitely say no. Do not try to waste interviewers time, or do not try to waste even your time, because it will again create a very negative impact. So if you are not sure about anything, you can simply say no. They are not going to judge the entire round, or they are not going to only reject you based on that one no. So you are saying no because you do not know it. That's it. Next is project discussion, guys, and this round is also very important. And if you remember, previously we discussed about the PSP, right? Problem solving, system design, and project. So in the interviews, guys, there will be dedicated, I mean, rounds where that project discussion will happen, where interviewers will try to judge your development skills or the kind of work you have done, right? And it becomes very important. That's what I was saying. do not copy paste your projects, do not take from the seniors. Even if you are creating a simple application, web application, or a e-commerce kind of application, create it end to end by your own or by your team, right? Obviously it will take time, but definitely it will be a good learning, because what will happen when you will in this project discussion round, interviewer will start ask the questions around the your project. And so in that case, what is important, you should know all the ins and outs of your projects, right? Why, like, you opted this project idea, and how did you create its architecture, what was the problem use case, what was the blueprint of it, and the complete explanation why this tech stack, and how, like, did you do any kind of benchmarking before using this X tech stack in comparison of Y tech stack, right? So if you are creating your projects by your own, then definitely it will give a good positive, you can say, feedback to the interviewers, that hey, this guy, even let's say he created a simple application, but he she created it by its own and used some relevant good development tools, or he has showcased his development skills very well. So that's why it's very important. And again, keep practicing, like, sometimes people lack in this part. They have done work on their projects, but they do not know so many things about their projects, the, like, the observations and the future enhancements, what, like, any future enhancements you are going to do in your project, what is the idea, and the tech stack, the complete things you need to explain actually. So you have to represent your project there. So keep practicing that. I mean, read the your, you can say, obviously you guys might have created your project sheet where you would have explained each and everything of your project. Keep going through it, and try to explain the things as well. And next one is the managerial round and HR round. I would say it's a combined kind of thing. Uh, so there definitely they will try to, I mean, check your fitment. So obviously, there are guys who are good in technical terms, who are good in projects there, and they are very strong in their development skills. But the companies want a good candidate who is basically worth to hire. I mean, he should be someone who can adjust in the teams, like who are very cooperative for the team, and taking the initiatives, okay, motivated enough, and like leading the things from the front. So that kind of, like, this is the behavioral part. Here comes the your behavioral part. And in the interviews, what will happen, sometimes people talk very bluntly, like, just to, I mean, I don't know, like, why they used to do it, but their idea could be probably something else. But you have to represent yourself as a original material there. Do not try to be fake, that as an individual you are a different personality, or if somebody is asking, you are showing yourself as a different personality, or you are showing your different thoughts. No, it shouldn't be like that. If for any particular thing, if you have this thought in your mind, you should speak up. It shouldn't like that. You are pretending to be fake. Like, do not like do not talk anything fake or anything negative there. If you have something in your mind, which you think needs an answer, then definitely speak up. So these are the best thing, guys, or the interview rounds, or the mistakes, and to prepare. And the best practices also, again, I would like to highlight, targeting the tech giants, guys. So the coding style, I mean, right, so this is not the time where we are completely relying on the ijk variables, and writing any random code without the comments and all, because it's a very bad practice. So, I mean, the companies used to even judge your coding style, like how you are writing your clean code, how you are modularizing your code, about your functions, how you are naming your functions, how you are calling them out, what is the flow of it, whether you are commenting each and everything, because you are not the only one who will be working on the code repository or the entire product. There will be other developers or teammates who are working on a same code base. So let's say even you added 4 5 or 10 lines of code, and you like used any random variables which do not make any sense, or any random variables, or you are not commenting your code very well, then definitely it's a very bad practice of the coding style. So while starting with your coding, or while solving these kind of I would say questions, or practicing those questions, make a good habit of it, like of your naming convention, variable naming convention, function naming convention, parameter passing, and the proper commenting. So that represents a good coding style, and it will throw a very positive impact on the interviewers. Next, guys, like the tips for the resume and how to make your application stand out. So first thing is, guys, your resume should be dynamic. Okay, so dynamic means, and even before that dynamic, I would say your resume should be very short and crisp, right? So treat it like that way, like nobody will care about to go through your 4 5 pages of resume, 3 4 pages of resume to figure out whether you have worked on some particular skill sets or not. No, like they do not have, they only try to see some relevant things, like the skill sets you worked upon, or the kind of domain probably they are hiring. If you are trying to, or you are applying in a firm who is working on banking services or finance mostly, then probably they will try to look whether you have a past experience in this domain or not. So that kind of thing they'll definitely try to look at. They do not read the paragraph kind of explanation of your projects or not. These things you should you should leave for the interview rounds, because there will be discussion, dedicated round for the project discussion and your skill set discussion. So on the resume it should be very short and crisp. Second, it should be dynamic. Dynamic means, let's say I am someone, I have also worked on the Android applications, I have also worked on the web development, right? So in your college, or even in your, when you are applying for the off campus opportunities, then you can also apply for the Android developer role, you can also apply for the web development role. So that's why your resume should be dynamic. Let's say if company is visiting for Android development role, then in the resume you should represent those skills which are like directly around the Android development, and you should similarly you should mention those projects who are for the Android development. Next comes the web development part. Same, in the same way, if company is coming for the web development role, mention those skills and those projects. So that's why you can make your resume dynamic, and like increase your chances of getting shortlisted for the interviews. Next one is relevant skill set. So guys, relevant skill set means you, there could be someone who know, let's say 20 25 things as a development skill, but and few of them, let's say few of, let's say 10 15, or you can say 5 10 skill sets, he or she only used like 10% in its project, or while she was learning these skill sets. So I won't say it's a worth to mention in the resume. And what will happen, because in the interview rounds, if interviewer will start asking questions around that skill set, then probably you won't be able to answer those things. And if not, then definitely it's a negative sign. So that's why you can should mention the only relevant skill sets. And let's say you have only worked on 5 major skill sets and you know about it, then only mention those. It's not necessary to like fill your resume with 40 45 skill sets, and even in let's say most of them you even have contributed, or you know only 10% of it. Next, the relevant projects. So, as the PSP part where I talked about the projects, so this was the part. I mean, that's why work or mention the relevant projects. You could have worked upon the 10, 15, 20 projects, right? But it's not necessary to mention all the projects in your resume. Only mention those projects which are relevant and where you think you have contributed like more than 70%, 80%, and you know all the ins and outs of those projects. If you have worked on such kind of projects, then definitely mention it on your resume. Okay, so this is the point, and the last is your achievements, and this is, I would say, please mention it. And if you remember, I was talking about the competitive programming platforms and the long challenges, short challenges, and the ratings on the coding platforms. So if you are actively working there, then definitely, I mean, those achievements, when you will add it in your resume, then means your application will stand out in the crowd, because recruiter will quickly think that yep, this guy is very very active in competitive programming and have a very very decent or good ranks, and continuously take participation in challenges. Then definitely it will help you to like get shortlisted for the interviews, and again the application stand out if you add such kind of achievements in your resume. So this is the very very like my favorite and important slide, guys, and the last slide of this session as well. So guys, I was talking about, I emphasized on few things: the projects, the development skills, and how to make your application stand out, right? So sometimes obviously there will be things, or there will be a time when people even do not, let's say you started working on web development and you created some good projects by your own, and you think that you haven't learned much from them, and you are still not very very much strong with the development skills, right? Then I mean definitely you should take participation in the hackathons. And nowadays I mean this basically gives a very very good exposure to the students to showcase their development skills and these achievements. Guys, to be very honest, if you will add these achievements in your resume, then definitely, like, even there are like 100 resume on the table, your resume will be shortlisted for sure, I can guarantee on that. But even before that, the major exposure you will get the basically the development skills, because in the hackathons you will have a very very limited time, and there will be some very very good generic or public use cases which are solving some the real world problems, right? And to work on real world problem, definitely a good opportunity to learn some good development skills. And when you will mention these kind of projects in your resume, that's like a bang on thing. I mean like much more chances to crack the interviews. So definitely guys, please start taking participation in hackathons. Even like there are many companies, many good companies, like good even startups like Snapchat, sorry, ShareChat, the Dunzo is here, and Zomato is here, and Visa is here. It's not a startup, I would say. I mean, the Visa is obviously, they time to time basically conduct the good hackathons, coding hackathons on different platforms, where you, if somebody is good with the problem solving and development skills, you guys can take participation in that, showcase your coding skills, development skills, and definitely you will get an interview opportunity with them. And if you are good with these things, definitely you will be able to crack the interviews as well. So treat them as a very very good thing. I mean the hackathons. So for that, I mean, Smart India Hackathon is a very very popular in India, and it every year it used to take place in India, and people take part from different origins and different states in it. And it's a good opportunity, guys. Make a good team and you will get exposure to work on some real world cases, and that will get converted into some meaningful projects. And if you are not sure like how to get the information about different hackathons happening international or national level, then we have very good platforms like Major League Hacking, devfolio, devpost, and HackerRank. It is a competitive programming platform as well, but there are good hackathons are hosted over the period of time. So definitely you can look forward for these uh, platforms. Next, I will talk about some backdoors, guys. Obviously, we know, I mean, about the tech giants that the rigorous process of interviews and the difficulty level to crack these tech giants. But the secret sauce, guys, I would like to share that to become a part of these tech giants, I mean, uh, like the internship is the most easiest way. And somehow, let's say if you are able to get the internship, even the straightforward process, I mean, let's say you applied from the campus placement and you applied from the off campus, from the career page of any company, and interviewed with them and cracked the opportunity. Apart from that, there are some back doors, and time to time these companies are running some good and open challenges to hire the best talent from the off campus. But the important part is the very less number of people are aware for these programs. So that's why the awareness becomes very important, guys. And nowadays we all know LinkedIn, that's a very really good platform. So please be active on that as well. Make a very good professional and solid network. Get connect with different people so that you time to time you could get the knowledge of some good programs running by the different companies, so that you can take part in it and leverage that to get any internship or full-time opportunity. So the popular ones like the Microsoft student program, Codes Microsoft program. This one is especially for the female candidates. I mean, you can apply for that. You can get enrolled. You will get a mentorship from the elite engineers of Microsoft. You will work under their guidance, and if everything goes correct and you perform well, definitely you will be considered for some internship opportunities at Microsoft. Then Google Developer Group is there. Amazon Wow. This is again the special program run by Amazon to hire female candidates off campus. So you can also definitely check out for these programs and apply. And again, I was talking about some popular events which are like open. Every time, if you are good with your problem solving skills, coding skills, then definitely take on participation, and someday definitely you will get a opportunity to interview with these companies. And even again the back doors kind of thing, like the Facebook Hacker Cup is there, Google Foo Bar Challenge is there, Google Kickstart is there. And I will definitely talk about the communities and open source, guys. And open source becomes very important nowadays, right? So again, I was talking about to make your application stand out, right? So there these kind of things, like if you have doing the open source contribution, and time to time you are contributing on open source projects, then you are going to learn so many things. Like working on individual project is very different thing, and when you will work on these open source kind of projects, and this will be like will be very awesome, guys. I mean, you will get a chance to work people overseas. You will get a chance to learn some different coding styles, like sometimes your PRs will get rejected because of the small mistakes and the coding style spaces. Even PR gets rejected because of the space indentations and all. So it's a good opportunity to work on the open source project and contribute to the community. And it will basically definitely it will give a good opportunity to you guys to learn the development, how basically team works on a single code repository, and how they are basically those, because in the open source you will be working on some good projects which are being used by the different organization or customers, and you are actively contributing on it to enhance it. So and when you will mention on your resume, again the shortlisting will be like awesome, it will be an awesome opportunity. So that's why please actively take participation. You have Google Summer of Code, GitHub, Alexa Developer Community, Free Code Camp, the Linux Foundation, and again the SRMKZILLA also doing the same. They are also working on some open source kind of stuff. So definitely guys, actively take participation in it, and like be a good engineer. Do not only restrict yourself for the only the programming at DSA part. You should also look forward for these open source and enhance yourself as a good engineer by working on some good projects and gain good development skills. So that was all about the presentation, guys. I hope you guys would have noted down the things which I have covered. And yep, there you can follow us, guys. The Learning Bridge, the LinkedIn page and YouTube channel. You can definitely, and you can connect me over the LinkedIn for any queries and concern. And now I'm open for the Q&A part.
And that you are the one, and I can't wait to see you again. Oh, I can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. 'Cause I was too young, and I didn't understand that you are the one, and I can't wait to see you
Okay, guys. So I'm receiving very good questions. So the first question is from Akash Ramjyoti. Sir, can you please say on how to strengthen the logic building for dynamic programming problems? So yep, guys. So actually, dynamic programming is something which even I found very difficult when I started, and I can understand you guys also might be facing some problems with that. But the point is here, the foundation, I mean, is to understand the things. Like, do not directly jump onto the dynamic programming itself first. First, read about the problems, like why the dynamic programming came into the picture. What about the greedy algorithms, right? And I can help you with that. If you haven't checked that out, you can check the tutorials on YouTube by Tushar Roy. He is like must to watch guy. Even Google recommends his YouTube channel to prepare for the dynamic programming. Like, I'm not sure if anybody has received any time the interview call from the Google. So what happens, they will definitely share study materials with you, and he is the only guy, Tushar Roy, like whose lectures are recommended by the Google recruiter to prepare for the dynamic programming. So you can understand the quality level of his tutorial. Then definitely once give a try of his tutorial, then definitely I can bet you that you won't be saying that you are not comfortable with dynamic programming now. So, next question from Sahil: how to stay motivated to continue to learn code when pursuing a non-computer science major? So, yep. So, stay motivated is, again, that's what I said. If you are not following the baby steps, and you are randomly jumping on different things, then definitely, and comparing yourself with the your surroundings and fellow peers, then definitely you will feel demotivated most of the time, right? So that's why I focus on that please do not compare yourself. Everybody has its own capabilities. Okay, so when you first focus on your basics and fundamentals, cover that one, and when you are like confident in itself that yes, now I can probably jump on to solving various problems, then proceed forward with. Until if you till the point you do not feel comfortable with the basics, and you still think that you haven't covered the important data structures and algorithm, on the competitive programming part or any other random stuff. So that's how you will keep yourself motivated all the time, because in that case you will be able to think at least for a approach. Next from Karthik: please suggest good book for C++. So there is a book like Complete Reference. That's the book I have followed, Karthik, for the C++. Complete Reference. You can refer that. Rajat, Rajat Bose, which is better option to learn, C++ or Java? I would say from the competitive programming perspective, start with C++, guys. And again, I like it's not, do not just go on my opinion. First, please again spend some time to explore the things, whether your taste is very good with Java or C++. But I have followed C++. It looked very easy to me, and because of its like library functions, STL, strong library. And yep, according to me, you can go with C++. Next, again with Sahil, the term upskill is being a lot nowadays. So, as coder, what skill should a coder acquire to be considered upskill? So, as a coder, that's what I was saying. Like, companies are not only hiring the pro coders, guys. So, please break this myth that companies are hiring for pro coders. No, they are hiring for the good engineers. So, coding, if like as a coder, if you are good with coding, that's the primary part, right? Now, if you talk about the upskilling, then for the upskilling, I was again saying you have to good with your system designing part. Should know how to develop the system, how to design the systems. And then your projects, obviously, if you have worked on different projects, you have worked on different skill sets, then definitely it does mean that you are upskilling according to the requirements. So you can follow that kind of roadmap, like along with your coding, like DSA and all. focus on your system designing, focus on your projects part, and start taking participation on hackathons so that it will give you a good exposure to enhance your development skills. Next question from Manoj. Will the companies accept the ideas of developing their company's technology? Okay, let me repeat this question. Will the companies accept the ideas of developing their company's technology? Obviously, means if you are contributing in a team, that's why, like, if when a team works on a product, and that's why that to come up with a good architecture or to come up with a good design of a product, there is a contribution of every member in the team. It's not like that only team lead or any or manager is designing the things, and whatever he or she will propose, you need to work accordingly. If you have anything better and you can add anything better in your say product or your say design, then definitely in companies gives you that freedom to come up with good approaches and ideas all the time. Next question is from Karthik Paliwal. Is there a minimum number of projects required? No, that's what I said, guys. No minimum number of projects, but at least you should have good and relevant projects on your resume, and which are relevant. And again, that's what, please do not mention 5, 6, 10 projects on your resume. Mention the relevant ones for which you know the basically the all the ins and outs of your projects, and why you created, what was the reason, and all the social causes and the future enhancement of it. A question from Manoj. Will the companies accept? Yep, I have answered this question. Question from Shweta Nayak. Which is the best platform to practice competitive coding? So in the slides, if you remember, Shweta, I named few good platforms like HackerRank, CodeChef, HackerRank, Earth, Code Forces, Spoj. So you can explore, and Lead Code is also there. You can explore, but it's completely depends on the taste. Some of the, like, there are few platform which, like, the difficulty level is good for those questions, but UI or the appearance of their platforms is not very much catchy, so probably you may avoid it sometimes, and that's why personally I found HackerRank very good to start with, because of its UI. I love like the UI stuff very much when like whenever I start with something. So that's why. And next question is from Sakshi Chaudhary. What ratio of time should we spend on coding, doing CP and development? Okay, that's a good question. So I would say please maintain a bare minimum of both of the things, because I have discussed about the advantages of disadvantages of doing only programming and only doing development, because both of the things are important. So like you should give a like good amount of time, dedicated amount of time for the competitive programming part, because I have seen like people who are dedicated like pro coders, they are like spent their like at least 16 18 hours only doing the competitive programming. So it shouldn't be like that as well. Like you should maintain a bare minimum, like that means you are good with competitive programming part and you have decent projects and good development skill sets with you as well. Next question from Satvik Thakur. What happens after you get a referral in Tech Giant through a current or ex-employee for internship? So referral, again, I would say it's sometimes it's a myth. Sometimes what happens when employee refers you in any company, people think that they will definitely get an interview call. So it's not like that, Satvik. When somebody will refer you, you will receive a acknowledgement mail that this guy has referred you and your application is under process. And the meaning of under process is means the recruiters will go through will your profile, and if they think your profile skill set is relevant to the open job role, then they will reach out to you again for the interview process. And if they do not think like you are a good fit for this role, Sometimes they will reply you back that this was the reason, and that's why we are not considering your application this time, and sometimes even you won't get the response. So that happens, Satvik, when you get a referral from any employee. Next question from Hari Krishna: how to answer the "tell me about yourself" question? Ask. So tell me about yourself is again obviously an icebreaker question. So obviously you should prepare well enough. Like it's not like they just want to know the entire history of yourself. It's a very quick and prominent thing that your name and basically if you say basically you can start with your name and where you belong from, and if let's say you are doing masters, then from where did you complete your bachelor's, and even if you are doing your bachelor, then what is your stream, and something like that. This is the like only thing we used to cover in the "tell me about yourself" part. It's not like that he or she asked and then you started narrating everything, that even including your hobbies, your projects, and your skill sets. No, it's a simple thing about yourself, like your name and your just 5-10% of your past, from you belong, and if you about your graduation and your stream. That's it. That's all about the "tell me about yourself" part. Next is from again Akash. When do I know that I'm ready to go into competitive programming after? Like, is there any parameter where I could judge myself? No, is there isn't. The parameter is confidence, and the parameter first parameter is confidence, and second is basically how quickly you are able to understand the things and how quickly you are able to come up with the approach. And let's say you are comfortable with DSA, but even there is a medium level question and you are taking like 24 hours to think about a solution, then obviously it's not a good time to jump onto the competitive programming. First get yourself means first feel comfortable, I would say, about the data structures and algorithms you covered, and start with some levels wise, like easy, medium, and then hard level. And when you are like confident enough that by reading the problem statement, at least you are able to think of a decent approach in a quick point of time, then I would say it's a good sign to jump onto the competitive programming part. Next question is from the Sahil K. How was your experience working in McKinsey? Yeah, it was a very good experience, Sahil. I would say it was a best period because the life in McKinsey is very royal. Like the business class travel, foreign countries travel, because most of the it was a consulting firm, so definitely like projects were from outside and we had to go to the client location and work there for the length of the project. It could be 6 months, 7 months. The learning environment was good because every time we used to work on different clients and different domains, different problem use cases. From learning perspective, it was very good. From the lifestyle perspective, working environment, overall like A1. Very awesome experience with McKinsey, guy. So I hope I have covered the questions, and I tried my level best to answer your questions. If there is any question, guys, you can put up in the comment box. Yeah. Okay. So if there is not any further question, then guys, I would say like it was very nice connecting with you guys, and whatever I have shared, guys, that is completely based on my experience, because from the college time, whatever I have faced regarding the programming part, how I started, how I prepared the things, and how what about was the like the journey into the tech giants. So whatever I have shared with you guys, that is completely based on my experience, And if I conclude the things, then I will definitely say, I mean, the competitive programming is a very, very vast thing, and obviously it takes a good practice to be pro into it. And again, the thing I used to say that please do not compare yourself, work according to your capabilities. Do not like feel underrated, or do not feel demotivated because sometimes you won't be able to solve the questions. That doesn't mean you are not capable enough to do the things, though you are capable enough, and you can do the things. So please guys, feel positive, feel motivated. Whatever you are doing, first explore it, do a good research on it, and then take some decision, figure out your interest, and then work accordingly. Do not be in hurry to wrap up things in a quick time, because then then it will be a, like you can say, a negative thing, because when you start learning or doing things in very quick period of time, you most of the time you skip important parts, and at the later point of time you won't be able to cover it. So that's why whatever you are doing, do it with full confidence, feel confident, have trust on your capabilities, and hope you will get all the success. So that's what from my side, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed the session, and whatever I have shared, it will definitely help you in the future.
With that, we come to the end of this very insightful Code Decode workshop. We hope we were able to break some of your myths and get you pumped up to start your competitive coding journey. Today's workshop would not have been possible without our speaker, Mr. Shashank Mishra, who took the time out of his busy schedule to share with us some tips and tricks to help us get a head start in our coding journeys. I would also like to thank all the participants who attended the workshop. I hope you found it informative and enjoyable. I'm sure everything we've learned from Mr. Shashank Mishra today will prove very helpful as we trudge down the path to competitive coding success. We at SRMKZILLA conduct numerous such events through which we strive to keep the doors of knowledge always open. Follow us on Instagram at SRMKZILLA to stay updated about many more exciting events that we have in store for you. We request you to fill the feedback form which has been provided in the comment section. Your responses will help us hand out your certificates more efficiently. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram for updates about further events. And once again, thank you all for attending.